Hey everybody, welcome back to our Daily Clues by Sam. Before we start, I have a few announcements, so if you want to skip them, you can go to the timestamp that I'm gonna put down here so you can get right to the game, but if you want to hear them, then here it goes. Well, we finally reached 100 subscribers on the channel, which is amazing. I appreciate you all, and I appreciate the people who watch our Daily Clues by Sam. I hope you're enjoying this, and I'm thinking that we could do something to celebrate the 100. So I was thinking I could do a Q&A. So if you have any questions that you would like to know from me, then you can leave them in the comments and I'll try to address them in the next videos. And the second thing is I have a question for you, because I've been mentioning a few times in the channel that I want to bring different stuff like Sudokus, other types of puzzle games, and I was wondering what you guys would prefer if I brought them like we do with our combo Clues by Sam, where we play one and then we jump straight away to the second game in the same video, or if you would like to have different videos posted for different games so that you can choose what you can watch and when you can watch. And I say that because me as a user, I like to have single videos from a single creator as to not be making my feed kind of overwhelmed with a lot of different videos from the same person. So not to bias you, but already doing that, you can let me know your preference. There's no right or wrong. I'm just wondering. So that's it. Let's go to the game now. And if you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it is a daily logic puzzle game where you have 20 people on a board. Each of them may be a criminal or an innocent, and you gotta figure that out using the clues that they themselves might give you. We are here doing this every day, and if you wanna play as well, there is a link in the description to take you to it. I'm gonna start mine right now, and I'm gonna explain my logic as I go so you can follow along with me. Let's go. It's a hard one today, so I'm pretty excited. I've been asking for this. So, we start with Dana telling us that Chase is one of two criminals above Petra. Oh, Chase is right here. And Petra has 3 people above her, which means that 2 of them are criminals. Chase is one of them, so the second one has to be either Gabe or Laura. And now Chase tells us that Susan is one of Thor's 7 criminal neighbors. So Thor is here and he has 8 neighbors total. 7 of them are criminals, which means that Thor has only 1 innocent neighbor, but that's not Susan. Susan is a criminal. Now Susan tells us that all criminals in row 5 are connected. So since we just said that Thor needs to have only 1 innocent neighbor, there's no way for Xavi to be that innocent neighbor, because that will make it so if he were an innocent, both Will and Zoe were to be criminals, and that would make 2 criminals separated in row 5. So there's no way for Xavi to be an innocent. I realize that sometimes I get confused because the tag is the opposite of what I have to click. So now Xavi tells us that row 2 is the only row with exactly 2 criminals. Hey, wait a minute. Where do we go from here? Because we don't know about... Like, can we make... We don't know for sure that Thor's instant neighbor is down here, right? But if it were to be Will... Oh, that's it. Because if it were to be Will, let's say that Will is Thor's instant neighbor, that would make Zoe a criminal. And now row 5 has 2 criminals and 1 innocent. But row 5 couldn't have 2 criminals and 2 innocents because that's only row 2 that has that, Xavi tells us. So Vicky would have to be a criminal as well, but that breaks Susan's clue because now there's 3 criminals in row 5, but they're not all connected. So there's no way that Will is an innocent. See, it's the tag. Because the tag I was talking about, there's no way that Will is innocent, and I was gonna click on innocent. Okay, now Will tells us that there are more innocents in row 3 than row 5. Okay, so now we know First of all, we know there's no way for both Vicky and Zoe to be innocents, right? Is there a way for Zoe to be an innocent? If that's true, Vicky will be a criminal because row 5 has to have more than 2 criminals. In that case, row 3 would have to have 2 innocents at least. But there's no way for row 3 to have 2 innocents if Zoe is an innocent. Because, okay, Laura could be one of them, but where's the second one? The second one is also neighboring Thor, and Thor can only have one innocent neighbor who's already Zoe. So there's no way for Zoe to be an innocent. Now, is there a way for Vicky to be an innocent? And does that work the same? Because now Vicky is an innocent, but there is a way that row 3 could have 2 innocents if Laura were one of them and Uma were a criminal. So that works. Any of these guys could be innocents. And, oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Because even if one of these guys were an innocent and now row 3 has more innocents than row 5, Martin and Olaf are both criminals, and now row 3 has 2 criminals. Whereas only row 2 is supposed to have 2 criminals. So it doesn't work. There's no way for Vicky to be an innocent. And we know that row 3 can't have 2 innocents. So row 3 has only one of them. And of course, there's no way for row 3 to have 3 innocents because then both would be neighboring Thor, and that's broken already. So let's look at Vicky's clue now. Only one of the 4 innocents neighboring Ivan is in row 3. So Ivan has 4 innocents. Have I read Zoe's clue before? Exactly 2 innocents above Xavi are neighboring Ivan. So Xavi is right here, and he's in column C. He has 3 people above him who neighbor Ivan. 2 of those 3 are innocents. I don't know if I can do anything with that. Could it be that Nicole is an innocent and John or Evie are the second one? It could, if the rest of the people who neighbor Thor are criminals. But Vicky now tells us that only one of the 4 innocents neighboring Ivan. So Ivan has 4 innocent neighbors, right? 2 of them are here in column C, as Zoe tells us. 2 of them are Dana and either Gabe or Laura. So that's 4 already, which makes Martin a criminal. And Martin doesn't give us a new clue. So, do we try now? Oh, we don't need Susan's clue anymore. Do we try making Nicole an innocent then? Since we know that row 3 has only 1 innocent, that will make both Olaf and Laura criminals. And Gabe an innocent. Oops, innocent. That works. Now, either John or Evie would have to be a criminal and the other one an innocent. That works. Oh. I guess we know from Vicky's clue because she's saying that only one of the 4 innocents neighboring Ivan is in row 3. We know that our single innocent for row 3 is either gonna be Laura or Nicole, which makes Olaf a criminal for sure. Okay, sorry about that. Now Olaf tells us that only one of the 3 innocents neighboring Martin is in column A. Where's Martin? Martin has 8 neighbors total, but only 3 of them are innocents. And one of them is in column A, and we know for sure that either Gabe or Laura, who are in column A, and neighbor Martin are going to be an innocent. So that's his single innocent neighbor in column A, which makes Petra, who's also in column A and neighbors Martin, a criminal. Martin has now 2 more innocent neighbors here. Petra tells us that there are exactly 2 innocents above Xavi, and Zoe already told us that those 2 innocents are neighboring Ivan, so Thor, who is above Xavi but doesn't neighbor Ivan, couldn't be one of them, so he's a criminal. Now we know for sure that Nicole and Uma are one or the other, because one of them has to be the single innocent neighbor for Thor. And what do we do with this? Let me try to make Laura an innocent. That will make Gabe and Nicole both criminals, right? And then Martin would need 2 innocents to make 3 total. So both Ivan and Joan would have to be innocents. What if Laura were a criminal? That will make both Gabe and Nicole innocents. So Martin would still need 1 criminal and 1 innocent here among Ivan and Joan. Oh, but the thing is, we know about row 2 being a row with 2 criminals. In this case, what's the second criminal? It has to be K, right? Let's say that Ivan is a criminal and Joan is an innocent. Then K is the second criminal. What if it were the opposite situation? What if Laura... Was it a criminal? Laura is an innocent, which makes both Gabe and Nicole criminals, yeah. Now Ivan and Joan are both innocents, but Kay still has to be a criminal, because row 2 always have to have 2 criminals, and Kay is always the second one, depending on Laura's role. So Kay is always a criminal. Okay. Now, oh, these are not for sure this. Now, Kay tells us that exactly 1 innocent in column C is neighboring John. Oh, so in column C, there's 3 people, and we know that 2 of them are innocents, but only 1 of them neighbor John, and John is in column C, so one of those... Oh, I don't have enough tags. I don't have enough tags, but we know that one of those innocents is John, and the other ones are 1 a criminal and 1 an innocent. Right? But I don't have enough tags to demonstrate. Now John tells us that only 1 column has exactly 3 criminals. What column is that? Is it column C? Because column C is gonna have a 3rd one who's either gonna be Nicole or Evie, and there's no way for it to have more. So that makes it so that column D couldn't have 3. But the thing is, if Uma is a criminal... Oh, that tells us that Ivan is an innocent for sure. A criminal! Because there were already 3 criminals in column B, so there had to be 1 more. Okay. And now we have our 2 criminals in row 2, so that makes Gabe an innocent, which makes Laura a criminal, which makes Nicole an innocent, which makes Uma a criminal. Nice. Where do we have a new clue? We don't. Evie is a criminal because of Ivan's total. Oh, and now we know that row 2 couldn't be equal to row 1. So if Frank were an innocent, then both row 2 and row 1 would have the same number of criminals and innocents, which makes Frank a criminal as well. That was fun. Oh, I hate when I do this silly mistakes. That's so nerving. I'm faster. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Well, this is gonna be it for today. I'm sorry about that yellow. If you yelled at the screen, sorry about that. I'll be better tomorrow, but this is gonna be it for today. Don't forget to let me know your preferences. I do really want to make this enjoying for you as well. So I'll see you tomorrow then. Bye bye.